Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Evangelion X Yolopark Evangelion Unit 1. I do own the Eva Unit 2, but Eva Unit 1 is my favourite unit. So I was quite excited to get this. So there's all of the parts. And I think now we're going to start the unboxing and then we're going to move on to the build. Okay, so right out of the box, this is all the parts and instructions that you get with the Evangelion Unit 1. So now, let's build this. And with the entire model kit built, wow, this looks like we're going to be in for a treat. Now, getting Eva Unit 1 out in front of me, just any slight pose, gotta raise the camera because it's a tall figure. This looks absolutely phenomenal. We're just gonna start with the details. So I think the head sculpt looks very nice, exactly how, well, Eva Unit 1 looks in my mind. But something that I love about this, the mouth actually opens, and they don't give you an alternate head sculpt like a lot of Eva Unit 1 figures, but it actually opens. This looks nice and reptilian, love it. Got the segmented Eva, like abs, obviously, gotta have that. The arms look very nice, almost exactly as they do in the show, and at least on camera, this isn't as apparent in person, but on camera it really is apparent. This looks almost metallic. Anyway, the legs, quite simple design as it is in the show if you've watched Neon Genesis Evangelion. If you haven't watched Neon Genesis, then A, thanks so much for just watching the video, and B, go watch it right now, it's absolutely amazing. Anyway, the rest of the leg, very nice. Love the details on the bottom of the foot. Yep, and it pops off. I will address this problem, actually, now. So, the Unit 2 figure also had this problem. If you take the legs off, and you can take a closer look, then, at least on Unit 2, they appear to be 3D printed. Now, maybe they've changed this for Unit 1, I think they actually might have, but this is not the best, and just the design, I guess just the design of how this works, means that it can pop off very easily. Anyway, back to aesthetics. We're just going to take a quick look at the back. So, the legs are very simple, again, and so are the arms, but this just looks absolutely amazing. They've really outdone themselves with the metallic paint on this, and here, you can see this is actually for an umbilical cable. I love this, because this is very close to how it looks in the show. So, yeah. Aesthetics wise, this is an almost 10 out of 10 figure. If you're going to get one Eva Unit 1 figure, maybe you should just get this. This, not quite mecha, looks fabulous on the included display base. So this is, I believe, this display base, I believe, is inspired for when Nerve sends out the Evas. You know how they have those like little boxes that the Evas then stand in, get plugged in, they shoot up to the surface, and then they can deploy? I think that this is what it's based on. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe that that's what this base is meant to be. And it replicates that absolutely amazingly. Quickly comparing Evangelion Unit 1 to Evangelion Unit 2 in the aesthetics department. For me personally, there is a clear winner here. Eva Unit 1. It's just the paint on this makes it feel and look so much more premium than Evangelion Unit 2. Evangelion Unit 2 seems slightly more almost toyetic, but this really feels like a collectible, which is the kind of thing I like collecting. So, turning both figures to the side, again, the display base is exactly the same, so quite similar. The back, I have not pegged this in, there we go. There's them with the umbilical cables attached, and then on the other side. So I will compare these two a bit more when I talk about articulation and also the hand feel of these figures, and also very slightly in accessories. Here is everything laid out in the white box right in front of me that Eva Unit 1 comes with. Obviously, you've got the main figure and you've got the display base. We've already taken a look at those though. So, first of all, hands. You get two trigger finger hands, painted and sculpted very nicely. These look exactly like the Evangelion hands. Next up, you get a pair of closed fists. Very nice. Yeah, they're closed fists. The next pair of hands are these open expression hands. I think that you could, well, if I remember correctly, this is the expression hand that Eva Unit 1 had a lot of blood on in the intro. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are the hands. The final set of hands I have already installed on the figure. These are just the relaxed open hands. Of course, this is Eva Unit 1, so you've got to have the classic pallet rifle. This is very nicely sculpted, minimally painted, but it looks nice enough. I have not tried this out with a blast effect yet. This could work with a Transformers blast effect. I think this would work. Let me try that real quick. Blast effect has been acquired. Now to see if this would fit. Oh, unfortunately, no, not really. The connection is just slightly too loose. The next accessory is the prog knife. Sorry. The next accessories that you get with the figure is two progressive knives. Unfortunately, these do not actually fold, they're just one painted piece, and they can also not store in the Evangelion shoulders. So these are actually very nicely painted. They're not sloppy, but they also have, come on camera, focus, please. Okay. These are painted very nicely, not sloppy, but again, the sculpting is immaculate. Next are 2 extra horns. These seem to be exactly the same, and also the same on the figure that I've already got installed. I guess these are just for if you happen to lose the horn, but you could just as well, Yolopark, could have just as well sculpted that in. Anyway, yeah, these are painted nicely, but they're exactly the same as on the base figure already. Last but not least is a cigarette. No, it's not actually a cigarette, it's the entry plug. If you're new to Ava, you won't know what this is. So, in the show, this is where the pilot is seated. And this will go into the back of the Evangelion. I'm going to show this in a second, but anyway, sculpting on this, fairly nice. Stop focusing on my hand, please. Yeah, the camera doesn't like focusing on these small things, but yeah, nicely sculpted. Unfortunately, no paint. This, I absolutely love. Almost. So, this is where the entry plug would be inserted in the show. Unfortunately, you cannot actually insert the entry plug. There's one already sculpted in there, but, you know, they give us this as an accessory, but I know that some Ava Unit 1, no, not just Ava Unit 1, but some Ava figures are able to have the entry plug actually go in there. But this one unfortunately doesn't. That's fine, this is a cheaper figure. So, yeah, the back just closes up. There we go. Next up is something I find incredibly important. Hand feel. So which one of these 2 Avas feels better? I'll just give you the answer straight up. Ava Unit 1 is so much better for hand feel wise. The plastic feels roughly the same, but this one has joints that are a lot nicer, and there was a couple joints with Unit 2 I really didn't like. Mainly the forearms, because they just don't really stay on, as you can see. And some of the joints were unnecessarily tight, and some of them were honestly a bit loose. This one, though, has some very, very nice quality control. The main difference, though, at least in joint-wise, for how smooth they are, is the toes. So, Ava Unit 2 does not have a great feeling toe joint, especially on this foot. But Unit 1, that does happen. Unit 1 does have very nice toe joints on both feet. I'd still be careful with them. They are small joints. But, you know, they're not bad. Anyway, you just saw what happened. The legs pop off. At least on Unit 1, it's not as bad as it is on Unit 2. Articulation now. This thing poses so damn nicely. First up, on the head, you have a double ball joint at the base of the neck, allowing it to tilt that far without using the actual head. Look up a bit and mainly down. Okay, this pops off, but it's fine. I'll glue this into place. But here, it's a bit difficult to show, but you have a double ball joint and a hinge. So the head can look up that far, look down that far, and can pivot about that far. And one thing I love, I've already mentioned this though, the mouth can open. The shoulder pads can shift out on a hinge and a ball joint, meaning they can get out of the way for all poses. There's a, that pops off as well. This is a model kit, you have to be careful. There's a ball joint at the base of the shoulder, a swivel, Okay, I'll just do the other arm then. Evangelion reference. So, there's a ball joint, a swivel. Stop popping off! Okay, just cut to the bit where I've successfully put them back on. Okay, yeah, they're back on. So yeah, arms can move out. About that far. You have a bicep rotation, double jointed elbows, another bicep rotation, forearm rotation, and a dumbbell joint, which, if you don't know, is two ball joints that are connected together on the wrists. The abs are very nice as well. So there's a ball joint, ball joint, ball joint, and here I think there's also a ball joint, but it doesn't really do much. So you crunch forwards that far, move back that far. You have very nice side to side and waist rotation. The hips shift down, allowing the Ava to kick forwards. So far that the joint pops off again. Yeah, without forcing it at all, it goes easily that far. Forwards, back that far. Out about that far. You have thigh rotation, double jointed knees. This joint can move ever so slightly, but I think it looks nice like this. And then the ankles can move forwards and backwards, swivel, pivot, and toe bend. So overall, yeah, the articulation on this figure is honestly insanely good, and I feel more comfortable posing this than I do feel posing Unit 2, because all of the joints feel just that much nicer. So, to conclude my unboxing, build, first impressions, and review of the Yolopark Evangelion Unit 1, if you can't already tell, I love this. I would 100% recommend this to any fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion, because this is a much cheaper alternative, with it being £25 to £35, compared to some Evangelion figures which can be upwards of hundreds of pounds. It feels nice, poses amazingly, and has some very nice accessories. So, if you like Evangelion, or you just like the designs, go for this. It's not too expensive. So, anyway, please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Maybe, comment on the video, turn on the notifications, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next video.